Assassin's Creed Valhalla is fast approaching, and as skeptical as I was back when we first had it announced via our Boss Logic stream, I can't deny now that I'm immensely hyped to see the next entry into the saga. With that being said, I thought with all this hype building internally, I would give this video these 5 main reasons why I have so much hype for this game, and why I think you should be just as hyped for Valhalla as I am. First off, this game gives us a return to the Creed. This is the first game in which we get to play as a fully fledged assassin in 3 to 5 years, depending on your personal views of Origins. Outside of just playing as an assassin, Valhalla is the first time we're getting to see an operating, competent brotherhood with a solid amount of power since Unity. We got tiny bits again in Origins and its Hidden Ones DLC, but it was never something substantial. Even in Syndicate, they make a point of letting you know that the assassins haven't had a presence in London really since Reginald Birch ordered the attack that killed Edward Kenway in 1735, and the only assassins operating in London at that point are the Frightwinds and Green. How crazy is all of that? It's been so long in a series called Assassin's Creed, where we have a game that features an actual assassin and an operating Creed, to a point where these things being featured are a selling point, but that's the reality we're in, and they are. Assassin's Creed has its assassins and its Creed back. Another point I'm really excited for is the new style of side content they seem to be giving us. Valhalla is set to have a very different way of handling its side content compared to Origins and Odyssey, one that can be compared and was possibly inspired by Red Dead Redemption 2. One thing that this, what I'm going to call the world event style of side content, went leaps and bounds towards helping Red Dead Redemption 2 build and solidify, was the living, breathing world and environment it sets itself in. Now, it's not a direct copy. Valhalla has its own variation on it, with color markers being set on a compass which points you towards these events, and each color being a sign of the type of reward you get from said event. This takes away the tedium of Origins and Odyssey, where you just ran from question marker to question marker and not getting that feel of discovery for a world that big. This style of side content should give Valhalla that living, breathing feel that lets you get immersed in the discovery aspect of open world RPGs. Now, this may sound like a bit of a weird one, but we're getting Eivor as Eivor. Now, Odyssey introduces dialogue options to the AC series, and whether you love that aspect or you hate it, it's making its return in Valhalla, but slightly different. You see, in Odyssey, the Misthios is built to be a blank slate character, more akin to a protagonist from a Bethesda game, while Valhalla is altering course for this slightly. Instead of being a blank slate character with no discernible characteristics, Eivor is a person and has their own character. From the ground up, Eivor is designed to act and think a certain way, and the dialogue options are meant to mimic that. Instead of having a few general good person, bad person, middling person, horny person options that can drastically change how the Misthios talks, either from person to person or sentence to sentence, all options in Valhalla are set with Eivor's personality in mind. No matter who you talk to, the dialogue is meant to be something Eivor would actually say, a lot more like how the Witcher games handled their dialogue options with Geralt, allowing you to feel like you're becoming Eivor, and not like Eivor is turning into you. Another returning feature from AC's past in Valhalla is the settlement system, with your base of operations being Ravensthorpe. It looks like this in Valhalla takes a lot more from Assassin's Creed 3, which is one of the best features of 3, and that's something that really does excite me. Being able to build different buildings for purely aesthetics in the tattoo shop to change your tattoos and hair color and also styles, to then side mission hubs like the Assassin's Bureau, which gives you the assassination contracts. You have to put up the time and resources into building up your settlement and these buildings, thus building relationships with your fellow Vikings and giving you access to character exclusive missions, and even building relationships with them to a point of starting an actual relationship. Valhalla is trying its best to go out of its way to allow you to get involved in a world and connect with as many characters around you as possible, stepping out of the shallow shadow Odyssey placed itself in. Finally, I do feel like this doesn't really need an explanation, but I will go into it a little bit. If you know the AC brand, you know the pedigree of Darby McDevitt, and what he's done as a lead writer in 2 of the best stories this series has ever seen, in Revelations and Black Flag, and in Valhalla, it goes a step beyond. Darby is in a high position when it relates to Valhalla, giving him a much farther reach and larger input than before, and with the level of work we've already seen him output, Darby McDevitt is a huge selling point and a cause of hype for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now this has been a much shorter video than I think. Oh no, it's in line with most. My videos are pretty short at the moment. But I do hope you enjoyed this. My 5 reasons why I'm hyped for Odyssey and why not Odyssey. I wasn't hyped for Odyssey. My 5 reasons why I'm hyped for Valhalla and why I think you should be at least somewhat hyped for it too. With that being said, if you could, hit the subscribe, like and all that, I should have a decent amount of AC content coming up into the release of Valhalla and then out of the release of Valhalla, assuming there's enough in the game to quantify it. I do hope there is. You get a initial thoughts video either day of launch or the day after. Then there'll be a review at some point and probably stuff in between. That's all I can promise at the moment. But like I said, if you want to subscribe, like, hit the bell to know when I upload, because I am going to be having much more AC content coming soon. Thank you very much for watching this video and have a good day.